covers the first 2 killings.
Test.
And now, to make sure you won't talk, I'm gonna have to do something
really impulsive. It's Futurama, by the way.
So, Fry, what do you think of the impulsive new me? I like it. Good. Now let me just get the lights. I really like it.
Oh my goodness, Fry, you're something else. The reason why I want to share that scene, it's really dark for a Futurama episode. It's basically Leela being impulsive, which is basically someone that acts without thought. I didn't know what it was until like 3 minutes ago. And basically the episode is called The Anthology of Interest Part 1, because they did 2 parts, right? I'm not really much of a fan for Part 1 though, but you know, after watching that scene again, oh, they had a Butterfinger commercial. I apologize. I like to just share like commercials in the background. It really taught me something because, you know, since I like to do long videos, and for the ones who are new here, once more, my name is Deon, and I hope that my voice is not irritating you so far, and also this commercial.
Is proven to get more people.
Weird, interesting commercial that a teen girl should look like she's like a preteen girl. How to see her dad like in that speedo underwear. It's called Sotiku, some type of commercial for adults. I'm not sure what it is. It's I don't know. It's an interesting commercial, but I have to apologize. Us Americans have some unique commercials. I'm sure every country does. But the thing is that for me personally, since I have covered quite a few videos about Alex. Now, I to apologize. You just had to do one of those videos, right? I know it's silly. It is, you know, compared to how other creators would like film in front of someone's face and harassing them. Well, if you're in public, then you know what? People have no right to claim if you're in public. It's not like you're inside their bedroom. That's much different. But the thing is that after that incident, which I basically censored after seeing the father, Paul Schmidt, that died. It was, I don't know what to say. It was horrible. To basically, Deon, what's the other videos you mentioned? I guess you could say what happened to Tanner Cook, that stupid prankster on YouTube that basically gotten shot. I'm surprised he's still alive after what he did. I thought I can actually do some storytelling, and I didn't meant to add a Brazilian moving flag. I might just use some, I don't know what image, because it's hard to basically navigate through this iMovie Maker. But I thought maybe once in a red moon, I could probably share some stories about like my past, throughout my childhood, because I like talking about this, and it's kind of, I don't like using this word, therapy for me. Because I'm actually ranting of what has happened for anyone that may relate. So if any of y'all want to hear more after I do finish up the story, I believe I'm having a an epilogue of it, then feel free to maybe save it on your playlist, and I would love to do more. I try not to worry about viewership and whatever. And also this other scene when Fry supposed to go to, can I just play this very quick?
Pizza delivery for...
I see. Oh, crud. Basically, it's supposed to be if Fry never... Basically... Deon, how you gonna explain this? It's when he doesn't go to the future because he's not in that frozen time capsule. I'm surprised they even have that in his universe. It's amazing. So, the first thing... Because life is full of... demons that devils we haven't witnessed in our life until we reach up to that point. Basically, one of the dark stories, I deeply apologize for not getting straight to the point because I like to take my time on to talk. Basically this story, it still kind of, I guess, haunts me every now and then because it happened so long ago. I think in like around 2007 or so. It's a long time. It's why I deeply care animals. Besides dogs, of course, and also I did have a video. Don't worry, I didn't like really show it up close, but it was a picture of a poor, I think it was like a dead cat. It's because I'll share that near the end. The thing is, basically, this story was taking place in a small, well, I mean, the island isn't that populated. It's basically, like to call it a village. Okay? A village up north in the Pacific Northwest named East Sound. For anyone that's from Washington State, I hope you know what this place is. If not, then you probably don't know much about your state, but it's fine though. Basically, East Sound is, I think it has like a population of like a few dozen people. It's supposed to be the largest, well, it's not a city though, but I guessing for the island, it would be considered as a city that is not too far from the Canadian border. And basically, it is like past Seattle. It's like northwest of Seattle. My mother and I, we used to go all the time because my old bestie, right, aka my old best friend Joshua, whom I didn't know that was bi until like after, I'm guessing, his mother's close friend passed away due to certain causes, right? Plus, I might as well just be open. I had a crush on Josh, and yeah, and we were only like a couple years apart, right? Like two years apart, give or take. The thing is that 2.5 years. The thing is that we used to go up there all the time because my mother was a nanny at the time, right? Because let's see, I could be wrong. It happened so long ago. I think I was 11. Josh was probably 8 going on 9, I think, right? Because you gotta understand, he was like 2.5 years younger than me. Because he was born in September. I was born in December, right? Basically, this is back when we were like little, right? Or at least younger. The thing is that when we used to go up there, because he used to live up there, because they had a cabin like up in, it's, I guess you could say it's like in the hills, because you had to like drive such far distance to reach to the cabin. The thing is that we actually would go to this restaurant. I don't remember the name of it. It was so long ago. But the thing is that where we used to eat, it would have, you know, a great scenery to the ocean. And I remember there was this, I don't know what the heck that means. The Xing sign with a mermaid on it, because it's, you know, it's Washington State. I mean, you could be surrounded, well, if you are in the West Coast, right, you'd be surrounded by water, right? Gorgeous place. And we used to eat there all the time, besides going to one of the healthy grocery stores, because Joshua's mother was a hippie at the time, if I actually can say that correctly. And basically, Deon, how can I explain this? We would, you know, go to like the fun house, which is, I don't think that's there anymore. This was like back in early 2000s, right? Well, we first went to Orcas in like 2000 or so long ago, right? I think I was 5, Josh was 2 going on 3, right? Basically, how do I explain this? The thing is that from that restaurant, I apologize, I'm rambling here, because I don't want to get too like far off from the story, but at one night, because it's me, it was Joshua, his mother, well, both of our mothers, right? And we basically rode in his mother's truck. It was like a blue Ford. I still remember that truck. It brings like memories. And man, it's hard to believe, because me and Joshua, we were like brothers growing up, right? And then not until like we got like much older, I had a crush on him. But you know, I don't know. I hope that isn't weird, because like if there's like a little bit of an age gap, right? Because we're kids, right? But he was like the only close friend I actually had growing up at the time. No one else, so to speak. Plus, well, he didn't really like stay at like long distance. We're friends, right? The thing is that from what I remembered, okay, is that when we basically drove back to the cabin, I don't know how late it was. It's probably like maybe, well, this is during this, I'm not sure what, I think it's during the fall. So, I don't know. It's been so long. Maybe like around 9. Well, I don't think we were there that late. Maybe like 8 or so. So it has to be the fall, because it got dark kind of early. But you gotta understand, in Washington State, it gets really dark depending on where you live in the state. I'm sure for anyone that is from the state, you understand, right? Like in the deep forest and whatnot. Because in Orcas Island, okay, not many people live there, and occurs to be nothing but forest. And when there's forest, there'd be a lot of animals, right? I remember the only animals that we basically seen are seals. I'm not kidding. We did saw seals. They stare at us, which is really lovely. I remember like when the sun set. It was just so long ago. I can't remember what time exactly, but it was me, my mother, and Joshua, right? I think his mother was there, or I think it was just us three. I remember they were just serious, and then they just basically went back in swimming. It was amazing. For anyone that loves seals, I would recommend Orcas, honestly. Well, I don't know, because the thing is in their cabin, I apologize. I just want to build the climax. It had a beach, right? Like a little rock beach, and plus there were some like dead crabs that would get washed up. But kind of creepy. Forgot to mention that, by the way. I'll share more about the cabin near the end. But the thing is, basically, when we would drive back, it wasn't too far of a drive. I remembered, because we don't listen to like any music or anything. We're just driving back to their cabin, right? We basically, out of nowhere, you gotta understand this. Washington is really foresty, okay? Kind of like how Flagstaff is in a way, which is basically our coolest city, one of our largest cities in our state. Well, it's the largest city up north, right? I mean, it doesn't seem that big, but quite a bit of people live up there for such a cold climate. And then down here, or at least compared to like Prescott or Sedona, the thing is that, I don't know how to explain this. When we're driving, okay, this happened out of nowhere. Just imagine like a flacking. It was like the flash of this animal. It was a reindeer that was trying to cross the road. You gotta understand the road. Okay, this is the Pacific Northwest. Okay, I'm sure the roads, at least in certain regions, are really narrow. Like how you see like in those horror movies, especially Cabin Fever. Oh my goodness, I used to watch it all the time growing up. Don't recommend for anyone that doesn't want to see like aliens or maybe getting hit by a hammer or something. It's really dark. But I was young. I love that movie. Okay, I do have a dark side, by the way, a goth side. The thing is that the reindeer was crossing the road, and we hit it. And I still remember this incident. It makes me upset to think about it. You know, this is why people need to be careful. I mean, out here, we need to be more careful. Like, up north in Washington, I understand it's different because it's much darker. You know, there's no streetlights or anything like that. You have to use your car headlights and taillights in order to watch where you're driving on the road. You know, I don't understand why people out here in Arizona, well, at least out here in Phoenix, they would drive without their head and taillights. That's illegal, plus that's a hit and run. And I forgot what manslaughter means. I don't know, because you literally hit someone, right? I actually have a video of that, well, I need to explain that later. I have it private on this channel before my S4 basically got damaged. The thing is that when we got out the truck, okay, at least basically Josh's mother did. The reindeer, I don't know, I think it was a female. It was twitching because it's in shock, right? It was dead. And this probably makes me concerned, like, how do people up north, okay? I mean, I mean, depending on where you live, but all I know is, because we're in Arizona, right? All I know more about, like, the North and Pacific West, right? For my, basically, Oregon, or whatever, for my viewers in Oregon and my Washingtonites, I don't know how you can actually manage to basically drive in dark roads at night without hitting any animals, which basically roadkill is by accident, of course. I don't know how you can manage. Because when we actually got out, we just saw that the reindeer was dead. We basically pushed it to the grass so that no other cars would witness a dead animal, plus that could cause accidents, right? And we cried when we got in the cabin. All of us did. My mother did. My Buddha, you can't even imagine my reaction. Joshua, I forgot. What did they say that we're two? Well, we're not quite 3 years. Because he was born in September, I was born in December, right? So we're not quite 3 years apart, okay? So I apologize if that sounds weird, because you gotta say we were like children back then. So, because I was really close to him, right? Like, I guess like I was considered as an older brother, but I had a crush on Joshua. I'm just being honest. But, what to say we're just 2.5 years, right? Just to be more detail. Like, Deon, let's see. I had to be 11. Joshua was 8 going on 9, I think. Somewhere around that. It was so long ago. I know it's like, it was after we went to, like, Disneyland. It's after where my mother and I went to see Joshua for his... See, I was 10. I was going 11 in December. Yeah, he was 8. So basically, I'll consider us as like a 2-year difference. It's hard to explain this, right? This 2 years. Even though I was going on 11 at the time, right? This took a place like 2 years later, I think. I don't know. I just remembered that basically Joshua and his mother, right? They used to live up in Washington for some odd reason. I gotta ask my mother why, because I don't know if they still have their cabin up there to this day. And also, basically, Joshua's father is, he is from Swaziland, which is now Eswatini. So, basically, Joshua's part Swazi. Or he's half Swazi and half white. It actually makes sense. But, of course, he's, like my mother say, brown, like the crown, or the Crayola. I call it crown, right? Like when you wear a crown. You know, that's how I basically pronounce it. It's basically that's like his skin tone, right? I just had this like uplift a moment, but you know, I just thought I could actually just share a dark past, and it goes to show you that when you basically do drive on the road, you always have to be careful. Make sure you drink plenty of coffee if you're working like the what's it called, the night shift, which is like my brother's doing, because he will leave out of work between 10 to 10:30, and he'll come back at, well, it'll be like the sun will come up, right? He'll come back like around 7:30 or so. But for the ones that do work middle of the night and maybe come back, depending on where you live, it's still dark, you always have to be aware, right? I think that's probably why when people work the night shift, especially if it's more dangerous at night, or you know, crime may be more higher, they'll get paid more, which makes perfect sense, right? Because you're putting your life at rest for working. I just, you know, cannot believe that us four had to go through that. And this is why I deeply care for animals. I can't imagine being a veterinarian. I think that might be like a lot of work for me. But I've always, you know, I have a spiritual side for animals, and I just share it. And also for a bonus, for the ones who are still viewing, you know, the 18 minutes and 18 seconds, basically from where we lived, right? Now, this happened before we got evicted in our old townhouse. When I was walking to, I think it was Walmart, or is it, Deon, was it Fry's or Walmart you were walking? I think it was Fry's, right? Grocery store, so we actually have in our state. The thing is, when I was walking, because it was the evening, it wasn't dark yet, I remember seeing this big black truck by this Hispanic, whom is of Mexican origin, of a driver, that basically was about to hit the small white Chihuahua. I don't remember the details on this Chihuahua. It still haunts me to this day. Okay, this is part of why I do take a lot of caution when I walk out at night. Especially people out here, they do not know how to drive. They don't. The thing is, I'm going to explain it slowly of what happened, right? I hope this isn't too graphic, because this is, if I were ever to make like an iceberg of my dark stories, this would be like in the, I guess they say the surface, right? And then you got below the surface, and then you got, like, what? The dark surface, and then the abyss? I think there's, what, 4 levels? I don't know. I can look that up. Because I kind of get curious at this, like, ice myself, right? Because I like storytelling. At least just recently. Because I thought people would not want to hear my voice, or they just want to view away. Basically, when I was listening to whatever, like my music or something, or about to, because I know how earphones on. This is like a long time ago, by the way. I still had an S4 at the time, if I remember. Long ago. I think I had an S4 active phone. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But I remembered the small white Chihuahua. It was a horrible sound. You know, like how, let's just say that if a vehicle would hit it below it, it would. Well, that's kind of what I've heard, right? But nothing too graphic. It was graphic enough. Basically, the truck ran over the dog's leg. I'm surprised he didn't tear it up. I think he probably hit like maybe like the rib of the dog. I'm surprised there was no blood or anything. Basically, I remember the truck, okay, when it hit the chihuahua. I'm sure it's a he, but it doesn't matter what gender it is. It went, ow, 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 ow. And then next you know, like 7 seconds later, it died. It messed me up for the rest of the evening. I couldn't concentrate. Like, I wanted to, like, Deon, look away, but it happened so quickly. Like, I was seeing a dog trying to cross the street, and it got run over. No blood. Nothing too graphic. Well, it was graphic, right? I'm just glad that it didn't have his head, like, you know, like, smeared on the pavement of the road and whatever. I apologize. I'm like having, like, my thumb and the finger next to it on my neck thinking about this. It was just so graphic that I still remember the incident of that poor chihuahua. And this is coming from basically someone that has 4 pups, right? If you, I'm sure no one probably remember that video. I do have a playlist of my dogs, right? Especially other people's dogs that I petted and whatnot. I'm really close to animals. You have to understand that, right? If you basically don't have dogs, well, I'm sure even if you don't have dogs, well, hell, if you do have dogs, I'm sure this was really graphic to hear, right, on the audio. But that is basically what has happened, right? I should have made this separate. You know, oh no, they're both bad. I just want to put on this in the same video. You know, that's extended. Plus, I thought, you know, well, just in case I forget, I might as well just share it. That's basically, I guess you could say, considered wild kill that I've witnessed growing up. And it really bothers me seeing how people like to drive, let's just say, 30 miles over the speed limit. And next thing you know, they would hit an animal, right? And they won't feel guilty about it. You understand, like, if you did it on purpose, you deserve to rot in hell. I mean, I don't believe in hell, but I don't know, right? I don't know. Like, just regret, right? And it just, it makes me feel awful for people that, no, it makes me wonder why there are stray animals out there that may have leashes. You know, like how they have the collar with their name on it. And they've probably been abandoned, which is why they're considered as stray animals. Basic animals that no longer have a home. They're probably runaways, right? I've witnessed this quite a handful of times out here where we live. And also, a bonus number 2. Okay? I apologize. This is more than I thought. I'm starting to remember this. I remember when I used to go to Walmart before, you know, that falsely accused shoplifting incident. I can't believe it's been that long now since I've been there. I do not like going to that Walmart because other have been treated, right? I don't want to go back into that again. I remember when I was walking there, I think I was talking to my mother on the phone. It was a black cat. I don't know what car it was. I think it was like a white car. I'm sure it was. When I was going there, because this must have been like near, maybe like 8 o'clock or something. I don't remember though. I could have sworn, unless damn it. I don't know if I talked to my mother after this happened, but I thinking I was on the phone with my mother though. From what I remembered, okay, there was a cat that was crossing the street, right? And basically the Walmart is located in Christown, which is one of the malls we actually have here that I like to go, right? Basically, I deeply apologize if I took it for 25 minutes now. It's been almost a half hour. I deeply apologize. I remember that I just heard and no sound, right? No meow! I'm sure it died. Right? I'm sure the car probably saw it down and they probably thinking, oh my goodness, what have I done? And honestly, that car has a kind heart because, well, it is a black cat. It is dark, but not too dark. But with cats running the road quickly. They're like playing Frogger, which in their life it's catter, right? You basically are risking your life to cross the street without getting killed. I just don't know how these animals can live. And this is why, for people that do have pets, you need to keep them supervised. You need to look over them like they're your children, right? That never grows, that's full of fur, and that can't speak. Well, they can speak, but not words, right? They will bark, they will meow. They're still a living creature, like us humans. This is what I hate about us humans, because we mistreat animals. You know, you probably think I might be like, no. I'm not talking like that, right? I just wanted to say that, you know, it's really difficult living as a human being, and we had to go through events like this. So this is basically, I guess, in the first like long dark diary. It's supposed to be like scary story, but I like to call it dark diary. You know, because I figured it would match with my name. It'd be like DDD, right? Deon's Dark Diary. And this is basically my thoughts of my childhood of basically witnessing wall kill and random animals getting killed that don't deserve to get killed.